Hi there, this is Karen. I'm with inspiredbygram.com. I'm an independent demonstrator located in Sharon, Vermont. Here's the card that we'll be making today. It's a thank you card, and I've chosen to work with Lovely and Lasting stamp set. It is a photopolymer stamp set. So let's put this aside and we'll get started. We'll go over all the pieces of the cardstock and designer series paper. We'll start with the envelope. It's a very vanilla basic envelope, and then we have a soft succulent card base, which is 4 1/4 by 11, and I've already pre-scored it at 5 1/2. And then the next panel up would be another piece of very vanilla, and I have embossed it with a gingham embossing folder. This size is 4 by 5 1/4. And then we have another 4 by 5 1/4 panel that goes on the inside of the card. And then we have a scrap of very vanilla for stamping. And then another piece of soft succulent, and this is 4 1/4 by 3 1/4. Next layer up is very vanilla, which is 4 by 3. And then we have the Lovely Linen Designer Series paper, which is 3 3/4 by 2 1/4. I also have a strip of that same Designer Series paper, Lovely Linen, and this is 3/4 of an inch by 5 1/4. So those are all the pieces what we'll need. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to sort these out, and we need a few of them for stamping. So basically the scrap of very vanilla and the envelope. We're working with photopolymer stamps, so I always like to use my piercing mat when I stamp. So ink color of choice is, again, a soft succulent. It is the main color in the card design. So the envelope has a little flower on it. It looks like this. I thought that looked cute and simple. So we will be inking that little flower up, again, with soft succulent. And we'll just stamp that right down in the lower corner there and call it good. Next up is the sentiment. So I have this detailed outline stamp here, and I'm going to just stamp it down here in the lower corner here. And again, that's with soft succulent. Then I'm going to take the thank you card, or thank you sentiment, and this is going to get stamped right down in the middle. Again, soft succulent ink. All right, so that's what that all looks like. So I'll close this up, and then we will punch this out. I've used the Lasting Label Punch. This is a bundle in the annual catalog. It works with the Lovely and Lasting stamp set, which we are using today. All right, so that's all punched out. We'll set those aside. And now basically all we're going to do is assemble. So let's find the card base. Got it right here. I'm going to burnish it with my bone folder a few times just to make sure that the card base will lay flat. And let's find the gingham embossing, the panel that's embossed in gingham. And I like to use liquid glue on any kind of embossed paper, just because the paper now has different heights on it because it's been dry embossed. So I just like to use the liquid glue. All right, we're going to flip this over, and then it gets layered right down on the soft succulent. And make sure you're looking at all 4 borders before you do lay this down. You do have a little room or a little time to work with using liquid glue. Okay, now we're going to work on the panel going up. So we'll need soft succulent and the very vanilla panel, and then the Lovely Linen. So we're going to add this one right to the very vanilla. I'm going to use my Stampin' Seal to adhere it. And then this goes right here. And then this is going to get adhered right to the soft succulent. So this card is so easy to put together. Definitely can mass produce this one, especially if you need a lot of thank yous, thinking of yous, or birthdays. It's a really nice design. Okay, so now we have all of these together. What I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap some of this ribbon. This is called the Satin Shimmer Ribbon. It's in Soft Succulent and it's a 1/2 inch wide. And it's so pretty and elegant. So I'm going to cut off about 5.5 inches. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip this over here. Normally I would use just like Scotch tape, but it's very humid in my craft room and where I live. I find that Seal Plus is a better alternative. So I'm just going to add that to the back side, wrap this around. It's so beautiful. And then we'll wrap this around. I got a little bit too much there, so I'm just going to simply trim that off and we'll just throw that away. Next step is, let's just make sure that is straight. It's a little bit too low, so I'll just fix that very quickly. Actually, I'm going to show you a little trick. We just add a little bit of adhesive there, and then it will stay in place. All right, now we can wrap it around. I'll just double check that it is straight. Oh, that is not straight. All right, so here we go. All right. There we go. Okay, so now we're going to turn this over. We're going to add 5 Stampin' Dimensionals to the back side. This will give it some height, and putting one in the middle there will give stability. Make sure these are definitely pressed down well, and then I'm going to just use my Take Your Pick tool to take the backings off the dimensionals. All right, now we will flip this over, bring in our card base here. And make sure it's opening, again, the correct way. You don't want it backwards. And then this just gets centered on here. See, that's just a little bit crooked, so there we go. Next up, we'll add some more Stampin' Dimensionals to the sentiment. And I will add 4 of these. And I want to tuck them closer to the edge, but not shown to the eye, because our ribbon is kind of gonna hit right in the middle there. So we want our dimensionals to grab the paper and perhaps some of the ribbon as well. All right, so I'm just removing the backings for the dimensionals, and those will go in the garbage. Then you can put this sentiment wherever you want. If you want it in the middle, right, or left side. I am going to put it on the left or the right side here. And now let's work with the inside panel. Again, this is very vanilla, and it is 4 by 5 1/4. I've got a strip of the lovely linen. I'll just take my Stampin' Seal and add some little tick marks, about 1/2 inch, 3 times. This gets layered right down. I like to show a little bit of the vanilla on the bottom here. Excuse me. And then if your paper's a little bit too long, just trim it off with your paper snips. Again, I'll take my seal and I'll add about 1/2 inch to the 4 corners and the center. And then we'll just add this panel to the inside. Such a beautiful, simple, easy card to mass produce. All right, the final step, we'll add some bling to this one. These are the fine sparkle adhesive back gems. You can find them in the mini catalog. I'm going to use the pale papaya color, and I'm going to add 3. So I'm going to add one to this, the larger one to the larger flower there. And let's find 2 more small ones. We'll add one right here. I like to use odd numbers, so we'll add 3. So 1 over here. All right, so we've got that, forming that triangle like I always say to do. So here's 1, so 1, 2, and 3. All right, that is your card and envelope. And then here's the one I made earlier in the day. So for your monthly host code, make sure you go to inspiredbygraham.com. I've got a free class for you for any orders between July 1st and July 29th using this host code. All right, so my website again is inspiredbygraham.com. Thanks for watching.